Record. I am Melanie Reif, the presiding officer for the Utah Public Service Commission, and welcome to our hearing today. We are hearing docket number 1703555. This matter is entitled Application of Rocky Mountain Power for Approval of the Electric Service Agreement Extension between PacifiCorp and Nucor Corporation. Since this matter was noticed for hearing, we received a stipulation, and I am assuming that the parties would like this to be the subject of today's hearing. Is that correct, Mr.
That is
Solon?
correct.
Okay, great.
At least from the company's perspective.
Okay. Is that the understanding of the other parties as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, well, let's start with appearances, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Solander. I'm appearing on behalf of Rocky Mountain Power, and I have with me at council table Kyle Moore, marketer originator for Rocky Mountain Power.
Welcome.
I'm Justin Jetter with the Utah Attorney General's Office here today representing the Utah Division of Public Utilities. And with me at council table is Charles Peterson with the division.
Welcome.
Robert Moore of the Utah Attorney General's Office, representing the Office of Consumer Services. With me is Cheryl Murray.
Great. Thank you, and welcome, everyone. Mr. Solander, this is your filing, so I'll let you go ahead and have the floor.
Thank you. We are here seeking approval of this stipulation and settlement agreement that resolves the issues in this docket. As stated in the stipulation, the parties agree to keep the current terms and conditions of the electric service agreement that's currently in effect through March 31st, 2018, unless a new electric service agreement is approved prior to that date. And Rocky Mountain Power has agreed that it will reach agreement with Nucor and file a new electric service agreement prior to January 1st, 2018. I don't know if the commission has questions. We have a witness who is available if you would like to ask questions regarding the new electric service agreement or this extension. But otherwise, we would request approval of the stipulation as filed.
Okay. Is your witness Kyle? Okay. Let's go ahead and have Kyle sworn in, and he's welcome to stay where he is if he'd like. Do you swear to tell the truth, sir?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. So, Mr. Solander, are you going to question him?
Sure, I can. Could you please state your name and current occupation for the record?
Yes, my name is Kyle Moore. I work for PacifiCorp, and I am a marketer originator in the commercial services group of Rocky Mountain Power. And
in that position, are you currently engaged in the negotiation of a new electric service agreement with Nucor Corporation?
Yes.
And do you believe that Rocky Mountain Power, PacifiCorp, and Nucor will be able to reach agreement on a new electric service agreement and have it filed with the commission prior to January 1, 2018?
Yes.
And is it PacifiCorp's position that keeping the current electric service agreement in place through March 31st will allow the parties enough time to get the new agreement negotiated and filed?
Yes.
And do you believe that the current terms are just and reasonable to keep in place through March 31st, 2018?
Yes.
Do you have anything else you would like to say regarding the negotiations?
No, not at this time.
That's all the questions I have for Mr. Moore.
Thank you. Any questions from the division? Nope. Any questions from the office?
No questions.
Mr. Moore, just a bit of clarification on the stipulation. I know that you testified that you believe that is just and reasonable and in the public interest. Just because we have it's slightly phrased a little differently in this particular statute. Do you believe that the stipulation is just and reasonable in result and in the public interest?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, that's all I have.
Great.
One thing before we move on to the division, I note that counsel for Nucor is here. I don't believe you went on the record, sir. Do you wish to note your appearance today?
Sure. Jeremy Cook for Nucor Corporation.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. If you don't mind me going a little bit out of order, I know that you're not technically an intervener in this docket, but just for the record, do you believe that there is anything to be concerned about with the stipulation as it's been presented?
No. I think Nucor obviously wants certainty as far as their contract, so we support it.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Jetter?
Thank you. I guess we'll swear in Mr. Peterson.
Mr. Peterson, do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Peterson, would you please state your name and occupation for the record?
Charles E. Peterson. I'm a technical consultant with the Division of Public Utilities.
Thank you. And as in the course of your employment, have you had the opportunity to review the settlement stipulation as well as the contract that would be extended as the result of this if it were approved?
Yes.
Do you believe that approval of the extension of that contract as set forth in the settlement stipulation presented today is just, reasonable in result and in the public interest?
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the company? Any questions from the office?
No question.
Thank you for your testimony.
The office would call Cheryl Murray.
Ms. Murray, do you swear to tell the truth? Thank you.
Could you please state your name and to whom you represent?
My name is Cheryl Murray, and I represent the Office of Consumer Services.
Did you prepare and file comments on behalf of the office in this docket?
Yes, on October 23rd, 2017, I filed comments consisting of 2 pages regarding Rocky Mountain Power's request to extend the current Nucor electric service agreement through March 31, 2018.
Following the filing of comments, did the company office and division enter into a stipulation?
Yes,
Have you read the stipulation?
yes, I have.
Are you prepared to offer testimony in support of the stipulation?
Yes.
Please proceed.
The office supports the company's request for a 3-month extension of the current Nucor ESA as being just and reasonable in result and in the public interest, so long as it does not create a situation where the regulatory process is compressed. The stipulation requires a new ESA to be filed prior to January 1, 2018, allowing time for regulatory review and analysis of that ESA. Therefore, the office recommends the Commission accept and approve the stipulation and settlement agreement. And that concludes my testimony.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Any questions from the company and from the division?
No questions. Thank you.
Ms. Moore, just one question to follow up on the concern that you raised about the compressed regulatory process. Is it your understanding that the stipulation as presented will avoid that?
We think that if the company files prior to January 1, 2018, we can accomplish the review and analysis that is necessary. I would add that I have also requested that Mr. Kyle Moore meet with us, the division and the office, following the filing to discuss any pertinent details or explain anything. So I think that will help us in understanding the ESA.
The filing meaning the subsequent filing?
Subsequent.
Okay.
Yes, the new ESA that is to be filed.
Okay. So with that, are your concerns satisfied that should the stipulation be approved, that you should be moving forward with a satisfactory process and schedule, so to speak?
That is our belief, yes.
Okay. Okay. Any follow-up, Mr. Moore?
None.
Okay. All right. Anything further, Mr. Solander?
Thank you.
Okay. I thank you all for your testimony today, and unless there's something further, we'll take the matter under advisement and issue a ruling. So have a very nice day. Take care.